We're currently here in the library museum of the Thoroughbred Breeders Association, and it's a little bit echoey, but the bottom line is that the purpose of this wonderful library is to pay tribute to the history of the thoroughbred racehorse. And of course, it really all starts with the stallion. Now, back in 1912, there was a stallion called Polystone who won 11 consecutive championships. In my lifetime, the horse that I will always remember is Foveros, who won 8 consecutive championships. He stood down at the Scott Brothers Highdown Stud, and of course he was a fantastic racehorse as well. He was rated by Timeform at 130. More recently, we experienced the tragic loss of the son of Rakeen, his name of course Jetmaster, one of the most spectacular racehorses who won 8 Grade 1 races and was victorious in the National Size Championship on 6 consecutive occasions. He amassed a total stake earnings of 14.5 million rand, which was usurped this year by the son of Lomitas called SILVANO, who stands down at ANDREAS Jacob's Main Chance Farms down in Robertson. He amassed a total stake earnings well over 20.5 million rand, and I caught up with the racing manager of Main Chance Farms, Justin Vermaak, to tell us more about the exploits of this incredible racehorse, this globe-trotting son of Lomitas. Now, having had the enormous privilege of being at Sharton Racecourse when SILVANO won the Queen Elizabeth II Cup in those boggy conditions, there weren't many believers when he came to South Africa, other than to say that he is a magnificent looking horse, a beautifully bred horse, and he really has the most phenomenal temperament. But he has surpassed all the expectations of perhaps even Main Chance Farms.
Yes, it was a bit of a slow start, but I mean, this season's been incredible. First stallion past the 20 million mark. He's had 12, 13 stakes winners this year, plenty Group 1 winners. He's just done phenomenally well, and coupled that with the German Group 1 Derby winner this season, it really is amazing. Jetmaster, I think last season, broke the record for stakes, and that was 14.5.
Now, of course, the victory in the German Derby is something that needs to be explained for the uninitiated.
Yeah, what happened there was SILVANO, when he arrived in South Africa, he was supposed to be a shuttle stallion between Germany and South Africa. But when the whole deal went through, the African horse sickness problem occurred, and it was a huge debacle, and ANDREAS was left with having to leave him here. But obviously he had pieced a bit of the horse together and assured the German breeders that that SILVANO would be able to make a few services, and he then had to send him at SILVANO's cost and ANDREAS's huge cost to Germany for a season, just to honour his commitments. You know, that's the type of guy ANDREAS is. So it was a huge rigmarole to get him there, but he went there. He covered in the 2009 season, and the German Group 1 Derby winner Lucky Speed is a testament to that.
Lucky Speed ist vorne vor Global Bang, Lucky Speed, und Lucky Speed gewinnt das Rennen. Lucky Speed ist Derby-Sieger. Lucky Speed gewinnt.
Well, if you take a look at the results of this past season, where he has sired the winner of the JNB Met, the winner of the Champions Cup in Johannesburg, the winner of the Vodacom Durban July, the Daily News 2000, the Woolhavington Cup to mention but just a few, and of course Happy Valentine to add speed into the mix, it is virtually indescribable what he's achieved this season.
No, it is. And you know, I'm happy you mentioned Happy Valentine, because he's got the whole 2,000 meter Derby classic feel about him, but he's a top 5 2-year-old stallion this season as well. And Happy Valentine's proved he can throw good fillies, he can throw them quick, he can throw them over 1,200. And then, you know, the classic stuff we knew already, he's just taken it to a whole nother level this season by dominating everything, not just those top Group 1 performers. Every weekend he's run 1-2 in the KZN Derby.
And Hot Ticket comes at Sylvanus Jet. Sylvanus Jet held on the unwanted. Hot Ticket second, Abercrombie, Patriotic Rebel and Calmia.
He wins the Winter Derby with Gifted for Glory, the PE Gold Cup. Every weekend he's winning the feature races that are on offer over ground.
Cigar Boy back towards the inside, but King of Pain is in full cry. Also coming on well is Gifted for Glory. Gifted for Glory is flying. Gifted for Glory gets up to beat King of Pain.
I was so impressed with the way that this horse is prepared for his services. He is obviously a gentleman in the way that he was handled earlier on, completely different to the ill-fated Victory Moon and maybe even Black Minaloosh. But that, to a large extent, must be in the temperament of the horse, coupled with the way that he was treated as a baby.
Yes, John's done a very good job with him. The guys overseas as well. I mean, this horse is very, very important to ANDREAS. You know, he put German racing on the map, how he globetrotted and won Group 1s everywhere. But his temperament is obviously very important, and it's passed on to his progeny. This guy, I mean, you can swing on the back of his tail, you can walk through the back of his legs, and he's completely unfazed. It's incredible for a stallion. And he behaves like that in season as well when he's covering mares. It's really incredible. He's a great special horse.
They talk about this statement, the look of eagles, and his mother's obviously spirit of eagles, and there's just that aura about him when you see him, and it's been passed on to his progeny in huge dollops.
Yeah, you know, that's the thing about a good horse. You know, you can see a good horse, they got that aura about him. He's the same. As you say, he's passed it on to so many of his progeny. There's so many stallions you hear about, their progeny are hot and they misbehave, they sweat up, but you can't really say that for any of his. They all behave, they know the business, and they just get on with the job.
Let's talk very briefly about Gestoet Farnhof at Newsells Park, where many progeny have come from. Run us by that.
Andreas acquired Newsells a few years back. In fact, they bred the good Mount Nelson filly of Gavin van Zyl's Mohave Princess, which they bought in Australia. They stand Mount Nelson there, who at the moment is the leading second crop stallion by wins in Europe. He's doing very, very well. So yeah, it keeps Andreas busy. He's German born and bred, and Gestoet Farnhof is where his home is, and he owns Baden-Baden Racecourse there as well. But he has huge interests here with the Main Chance and Newsells as well.